can't like keys on the board, be a little token. And this one I did. Maybe right there. But each.
This one open. Where's my pen? Okay. All right, the Dumfries Town Council meeting of Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, 7 p.m. is hereby called to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Brown,
Present.
Councilman Fields.
Here.
Councilwoman Miles,
Present.
Councilwoman Neville,
Present.
Councilman Pete,
Present.
Vice Mayor Nickerson. Ma-
She called and said she wasn't making a talk to her before.
Thank you. Mayor Wood,
Present.
sir, you have a quorum.
All right. We're gonna ask the Reverend Dr. Alfred Jones if he would come to the podium and open us up with an invocation, and it'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, sir. Let's see, where's my drive?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let us pray. Merciful God, our Father, we are so grateful and so thankful for your love and for your kindness. We thank you, God, for allowing us the privilege of gathering here today. God, we lift up this council, we lift up this board. We pray that blessings upon each of them, that thou would strengthen them as they go forward in doing the business of the county. God, we thank you for all that mercy that you grant us each and every day. Bless us now and sustain us with your love. We ask all of these blessings in the name of him who said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic God, indivisible. All right, please be seated. Next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Council, is there any amendments to the amendment and to the amendment to the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Town manager, do you have any additions? Okay, none. All right, I welcome a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
it's been moved. Councilwoman Miles, second by Councilwoman Neville. All right, seeing no discussion, I will call for the question. Our voting board isn't working right still. All right. Councilman Pete? Approve. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Neville?
Aye.
Councilman Fields? And Mayor Wood, that's a yes. All right, the agenda is passed 6-0. Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. All right. Council, the minutes were presented in your package. Any changes? Seeing none, I welcome a motion to adopt the minutes as presented. Okay, moved by Councilman Fields.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pete. All right, seeing no discussion, we'll call for the motion. Councilman Fields.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Neville.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miles.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Pete.
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. All right. Next on our agenda is the citizen comment period. Town clerk, is there anyone here signed up to speak today? Okay.
I'm sorry, Chief. I'm sorry, Mayor.
No sign, is she? Okay. Oh, he's grabbing it.
No, sir, not tonight.
Okay. No sign. Cool. All right. Next would be our mayor and council comments. All right, Councilman Pete, you have any comments tonight?
Just a reminder that the Councilman DeVille and I are putting together the field trip for the community this coming June. We're amping up in support for the event, and would like for all the citizens that are keeping up to do attend the event. Bring your children out. We're going to have some food there, some music. We're just having a nice gathering that we haven't had in a long time, and it's about time for us to, our citizens to get gathered back up. That's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Brown.
No comments yet.
Okay, Councilwoman Miles.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just want to wish everyone a happy Autism Acceptance Month. I know a lot of people celebrate Autism Awareness, but the goal of the Autism Society is to go from awareness to acceptance and acceptance to appreciation. So we want to make sure that we accept those with autism and realize that those with disabilities are no different than you and I. They're just differently able. And with that, I'll close.
Councilwoman DeVille.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo Councilman Pete's sentiments on the Dumfries Field Day. It's going to be a good time. If you were around in town back 7 years ago, we used to have all these wonderful events, and it's about bringing the community together. And I just like to add one thing. I want to shout out Pillar Church as an official partner for this event. So it's really going to be an old school feel good Dumfries event. Also would like to take the time to remind people that we will be having our second annual Juneteenth Parade on Juneteenth, which is on Father's Day, and we are honoring the fathers. And On Your Power, an empowerment conference for youth has been moved to August 26th. You can find information for that online. If you have any questions, email me about it personally, and I will follow up with you. And I would like to thank the Virginia delegation of the Local Government Advisory Committee for a wonderful tour they organized on the Chesapeake Bay. It was very informative, and I'm grateful to have had that opportunity to participate. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Fields.
No comments tonight.
No comments. All right. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go sit in on Dominion's coal ash for those of our residents that live on Possum Point, just to look at the 3 or 4 options that they have for closing down those coal ash ponds. I think Supervisor Bailey is putting it on her website or on her social media channels, her YouTube and her Facebook for those who missed that presentation of the coal ash. One of the things I can tell folks, doing nothing is not an option, because the where the coal ash sits currently, it's in an unlined pond. And so law dictates that they have to put them in something that's lined, and that is a landfill. So doing nothing is not an option. So submit your comments to Supervisor Andrew Bailey on your thoughts on the coal ash removal. Also last month, for those who missed it, we had our Route 1 Widening informational meeting, which is, going to be game changing for the town. I think have gotten that football to the 1 yard line. And so we're in the point now with the Route 1 Widening project. We're moving in the design, property acquisition, utility relocation phase. And I think by the winter time, you'll start to see a lot more movement. So we're excited. Stay tuned, because it's going to be one of those things that's going to shape this community, and it's going to connect us into Triangle when we widen to those 6 lanes. April has a wide range of national days that we celebrate. I just want to highlight one, which is the National Minority Health Month. And I know we got a presentation kind of on some of this later, but we know, like, over the last couple of years that this pandemic, COVID-19, has wreaked havoc through the communities of color across the nation. And so the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health highlights the importance of improving the health of racial and ethnic minorities and reducing these health disparities. Their theme this year is to give your community a boost. And this is to continue the efforts for those who if there is anybody out there who still haven't got vaccines, and to encourage people to get boosters so that we can continue to overcome the challenges over the last 2 years and strive to put this pandemic behind us. I know that these past 2 years, some of us have lost loved ones. Many of us have missed doctor's appointments. We've had challenges even now with our mental health and what's going on there. And I want to personally ask you to make sure that you reschedule those appointments that you missed out, especially men. We got to reschedule those physicals that we missed and go take those. Also get with your primary care, your physical. If you need mental health, get those resources. Check on your neighbors too and encourage them also to do the same, because we're still all in this together. Remember, the town of Dumfries, we are a Hill community. Our focus is on healthy eating and active living. And so that, we like to play offense as well as defense. So take care of yourselves. Get out in the community. For more information about the minority health and how to get involved, you can visit minorityhealth.hs.gov to get more. Tonight, I just want to highlight in my comments as we move forward in the agenda that we're going to be presented with our annual budget and our annual town fee schedule to include all of our tax rates. And we're going to move then to advertise this to a public hearing for April 26th. So govern yourselves accordingly. We want to give everyone in the public and every citizen here an opportunity to comment. So right now on our website, the comments are open. If you go to dumfriesva.gov, you can start submitting your comments as we go even through this tonight. And your feedback is always important. The other thing I want to highlight and make note of in today's agenda is a presentation and consideration of an ordinance to amend our town code to allow for abatement of real estate taxes and a resolution to approve abatement of the first half of the 2022 real estate tax billing. And this is huge because we have an opportunity to provide some instant relief to our residents. I don't think this has ever been done. And I think our residents can really use it right now because they're experiencing what we're seeing as a 40-year high inflation, and inflation is being seen at the grocery stores. I know some of y'all are feeling it at the gas stations right now because I think some of these trucks and these vehicles is filling up higher than I never knew they can go. And I think as a council, because of the smart growth and the development we've had over the last 3 years, we're in a position with our commercial tax base that we'll be able to add instant relief to our resident on the resident taxes. So I'm excited to be able to serve in this moment and to make history with this council that's sitting here today. So with that said, we'll move into our reports and our presentation. Our first presentation is NVRC. I'm sorry, is it NRV? I thought it was NVRC. Yeah, NVRC. That's written wrong, isn't it? NVRC report and mental health update. Councilwoman Neville, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. And that's a perfect segue. Those of you tuned in virtually, if you access the agenda, the full agenda packet, you will see 2 presentations from our March meeting where we focused on mental health. And let me tell you, the numbers of citizens, we represent 2.5 million residents in the Northern Virginia region. And the numbers of those experiencing or have experienced, especially during this pandemic, any form of any stress, anxiety, or full depression, it's a daunting number. It's a daunting number. I'd like to draw attention to, oh no, this is not numbered, but over 1 million residents. And again, this is from Community Foundation of Northern Virginia, this first presentation. Over 1 million have mentioned they felt tension. 869,000 people have mentioned worry, and anxiety has gone up 24%, 461,000 people. And these are people who aren't currently being served by behavioral health specialists. The number of new reports for those expressing they feel depressed is 18%, has gone up 18%. That's 358,000 people. And the report will break it back down. It has some demographic information, and this is for adults. So this is not even including children. So we think about, the great time for the great resignation, right? People are prioritizing their mental health and well-being over their jobs, and leaving their jobs, which is a good thing to do. If it stresses you, leave it. But it doesn't break down in this presentation about jobs. But if anyone would like a full link, which I referenced, I believe, in my report, email me and I can share that with you. And I'm just pointing out a few things here. And in line with these numbers, you'll also see the difference in those who expressed a need for help, but did not seek professional help. So you'll see of all the adults, 61% wanted and received therapy, whereas 39% wanted but did not receive therapy. So there's something to be analyzed about, we'll call a friend, we'll talk to a pastor, but when to know that you need to seek professional help is a major issue. And again, this is not, I just want to point out to any of my council members who are looking at these reports, this is not for the state. This is just the Northern Virginia region. And so to make matters more alarming, the second presentation from the Claude Moore Charitable Foundation pretty much demonstrates how we are losing professionals in the behavioral health. So those who are trained and hired to be the helpers, they're leaving their careers too because it's so stressful. So there's a huge need for careers in behavioral health. So I just wanted to point that out. And it's included in the full agenda pack in case anyone here or watching at home wants to tune into that and read a little more, dig a little deeper. But just to highlight a few things, we have a box downstairs in our lobby. We are one of the locations to provide aid for refugees from Ukraine. So we are collecting items such as new and gently used coats, blankets, socks, and gloves for refugees from Ukraine. And this is all for all refugees from Ukraine who have had to abandon their home due to the Russian invasion in their country. And there's a hyperlink that you can see when you access this digitally. It's no secret that the Northern Virginia Regional Commission, we work on a lot, a plethora of things to best represent the 2.5 million residents here in our region. And one of those is education. There's a lot to be covered in education, but I had a question, just like, why is there no HBCU in our region? So we are addressing that problem statement. We had a wonderful, wonderful meeting with leadership and presidents of Virginia State University and Norfolk State University yesterday on the beautiful campus of Virginia State University. And everybody knows I'm partial because I am a loyal daughter of the orange and blue. And right now it's a lot of work. Having important, informative conversations is where it all begins. So we're going to pray for it, and we're going to dig deep, get our hands dirty, and help in any way we can to get the work done that needs to make this vision a reality in our region. There are over 400,000 residents in Northern Virginia who have not completed degrees. So this would definitely help them if we focus on the degree completion programs. And that's all I can say about that at this time. Solarize Nova launched April 1st, and Solarize Nova is a community-based outreach initiative that reduces the cost and complexity of going solar by providing a one-stop shop for education and installation. And you can learn more about that on solarizenova.org. And I want to shout out Supervisor, NEAPSCO Supervisor Victor Angry and Fairfax Supervisor Penny Gross for their work. Northern Virginia has been named the 2022 Great American Defense Community. And that's all I'm probably leaving something out, but that's all I have to share right now. So thank you, Mayor.
Hey, quick question on the HBCU initiative. It sounds exciting in Northern Virginia. Do they have a cost for that? And are the localities all talking about funding that? Or I know the new current governor said this was his big initiative and he was putting money, but do they have a cost, or what does it cost to come up here?
So right now we are at a phase where, the immediate next step, they have to analyze a lot of data to really truly determine what types of programs they would offer. Also, what type of space, like how many classes can we have at a time, students? So it's really at the beginning stages of the research. So it seemed very promising, I'll say that. I am extremely excited about this. It gave me chills yesterday. So I will definitely keep you updated, but the ball is really in the court of the HBCUs. But when we get a time to get more people involved in things like the alumni associations, which I belong to, we'll have time to do that. But as the NBRC, we addressed the problem statement, and that's what we started doing. So it is definitely an exciting time. Both universities are definitely interested, very interested in this endeavor. So we'll see. It's a lot of work, but I should have a formal update probably, definitely in the months ahead in the call. Thank you.
All right, council, any other comments, feedback? All right. Moving along on the agenda. Next on our agenda is our fiscal year 23 presentation from our town manager, Mr. Rogers. The podium and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to go to the podium tonight so we didn't have any malfunctioning microphones today.
We appreciate it. Make sure we hear this. I know you're gonna clip this and highlight it for us.
All right. Honorable Mayor, members of council, it is a pleasure to be with you this evening to present the proposed fiscal plan for fiscal year 23, as well as our 5-year capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2023 through 2027. Before I begin, I'd first like to thank our staff and our town attorney for all their hard work and their innovative thinking as we put this fiscal plan together. I would also like to extend my thank you to the council for your innovative leadership. And most importantly, perhaps I'd like to thank our residents. It is truly an honor to serve you. Dumfries, we are at a critical moment in our town's story. As the mayor stated, across the globe, we are faced with uncertainty from the gas pump to the grocery store. There's turmoil and there's conflict, and that's really just the past 24 days. Over the past 24 months, we've battled a disruptive global health pandemic that has threatened life itself. But through it all, our town is emerging, and boldly, we have reason to be very optimistic. So since 2019, our town has seen over $750 million in new investment. And over the past 5 years, our fiscal growth rate is 55%. And this is outpacing all of our Northern Virginia regional peers. When we look ahead to 2024, we are projected to increase revenues an additional 178%. So it is a true statement to say that the Dumfries of yesterday is not the Dumfries of today. And as we press forward to our future with realizing our goal of Dumfries as a destination place, we've crafted our fiscal year 2023 budget with the focus of providing relief to our residents as well as investing in our organization. Our budget, which is our primary strategic planning tool, is built on a solid foundation. This budget was developed in adherence with sound financial practices. All revenues equal expenditures, complying with the legal requirement to have a balanced budget. Structural balance is achieved with one-time revenues being dedicated only in support of non-reoccurring expenses. Unlike several years in our past, no transfers from the unassigned fund balance were used to balance this budget. The published documents provide the public with a complete overview of the town's finances, inclusive of debt service, fund balance, as well as capital projects. Our proposed capital budget is fully funded and is supported entirely with grants and pay-as-you-go cash, thus having no impact to our debt capacity. We also continue our commitment to performance-based budgeting using data and metrics to inform our decisions. Proof positive of our foundation and our adherence to best practices, the town received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Financial Officers Association for the third consecutive year for our fiscal year 22 budget. The GFOA established the Distinguished Budget Presentation Awards program in 1984, and they did so to encourage and assist state and local governments in the preparation of budget documents of the very highest quality that reflect both the guidelines established by the National Advisory Council on State and Local Budgeting and the GFOA's best practices on budgeting, and then to recognize those individual governments that succeed in achieving that goal. Our FY23 budget was completed in adherence to these guidelines, and we look forward to being awarded again this year. Now that we've established and reviewed our foundation, let's get to the numbers. The total proposed fiscal year 23 general fund budget is $7.2 million. Now, this represents a 22% increase from the previous fiscal year. As you can see on the chart above, Dumfries benefits from a diverse revenue pool. And unlike when compared to most counties, real estate, while significant, is not our largest source of revenue. Local taxes, such as sales, meals, and gaming tax, account for over 46% of the town's revenue. When compared again to real estate, that makes up only 18% of our overall revenues. Looking more closely, our projections reflect growth in real estate and other key local tax categories. Revenues from real estate are up 27%, attributable to increases in assessed values, as well as new residential and commercial development within town. In fiscal year 23, gaming and sales tax revenues are projected to be up 100% and 54% respectively over the previous fiscal year. The chart on the screen here illustrates the point that from fiscal year 19 to fiscal year 23, revenues have increased 55%. Looking further to fiscal year 24, this chart shows that revenues are projected to increase an additional 178%, primarily due to development of the Rose Resort. Council and residents, this is truly dynamic growth. And as revenue continues to grow, we are also growing our fund balance. In plain terms, we can think about our fund balance like your personal savings account. And the principles and advice that many of us apply to operating our households is also applicable here. So whether you prefer Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman, they have recommendations for having 3 to 6 months worth of operating expenses in your savings account. So you will note on the chart on the screen that on a percentage basis, the town has nearly 60% of our proposed operating budget in our savings account, which is the 4.2 million on the screen. Now, some may ask or even may be wondering, how are we able to grow despite the global factors that are outside our control and the long-term impacts of the pandemic? And my short answer is by design and not default. Our revenue projections have remained conservative and are responsible in spite of the pandemic. And we are now seeing recovery of these revenues that exceed pre-pandemic levels. Our newer sources of revenue, such as gaming tax and DMV Select revenues, did not exist or were not flourishing at their current levels prior to the pandemic. Secondly, the town benefits from a diverse pool of revenues, with no singular source accounting for more than 20% of our overall revenues. Third, sound budgeting and financial practices. Our team works very diligently to adhere to best practices, improve our collections, keep expenditures in line, and overall being good stewards of the taxpayer resources. Next, our strategic planning. The council has done an excellent job articulating the vision and adopting strategic performance goals that allow us to make progress. And finally, the assistance we've received from federal relief programs has ensured that we can not only continue services in new and improved ways, but also has allowed us to provide relief directly to people, businesses, and the nonprofits that have needed it the most. We can all acknowledge that the rising costs of practically everything and the values of real and personal property taxes have also seen significant increases in the latest assessment. And while there are certain factors that are outside our control, aiding those in need is a key function of government. Prince William County conducts property assessments for the towns located in the county. Residents of Dumfries pay real estate taxes to both Prince William County as well as the town of Dumfries. For the upcoming fiscal year, property assessments have increased 15% on average within the town. Now, this increase equates to approximately $230 on the average residential tax bill that our residents would pay to the county. So to provide immediate relief to our residents, tonight we will introduce items that will consider real estate tax abatement in our current fiscal year 22 that will abate the entire real estate tax amount due this June. On the screen now is an example of a sample bill, and if approved, this is how the bills to our residents will look this coming June. So on the left, you will note the highlighted, I know it may be a little challenging to see, but the highlighted amount states the current year tax due. That's on the left-hand side. Also on the left-hand side highlighted, you will see stormwater utility fees, which all our residents are assessed and pay. On the right-hand side, you will see a column that is for the abated amount. The abatement amount is equal to the current year tax due. So the only thing left for residents to pay would be their stormwater fees, if approved by council. Additionally, to provide relief to our residents, we are keeping our current real estate tax rate the same for our fiscal year 23 budget. For some context, on the real estate tax, each penny on the real estate tax rate is equivalent to approximately $70,000. For additional perspective on our overall finances, $70,000 is less than 1% of our proposed budget. This next slide shows our real estate tax rate compares to other jurisdictions, other towns within the Northern Virginia region. As I stated, our staff has worked diligently to be efficient with existing resources while also creating new revenue streams that to allow Dumfries to continue to enjoy one of the lowest real estate tax rates in our region. And as we are at a crucial moment in our story, it is important for us to show stability within this, even as we grow. In addition to the real estate abatement for this June and keeping the current real estate tax rate flat, the FY23 budget proposes eliminating the vehicle license fee. And this fee, or $24 fee, is for every vehicle garage within the town, which had historically been collected to compensate for the town's statutory inability to charge personal property tax. Revenue increases in other categories, particularly our DMV Select office, will allow us to cease collection of this fee moving forward, which will save most households $48 per year. Moving to the investments in our organization, The demands of the pandemic have reiterated the importance of our employees, particularly our first responders. So our success would not have been possible without the dedication of our outstanding workforce. So as the employment landscape evolves and competition for qualified workers intensifies, we must continue investing in our most critical resource, our employees. Over the past 3 years, we have taken bold and necessary steps to enhance our workforce. We've increased starting pay for police officers, leading the region in that, updating our personnel policies, and providing 100% employer-funded health care for both employees and their families. As a result, our attrition rate has been reduced, our police department is fully staffed, and we are currently leading the way as the only local government in Virginia to offer such a healthcare benefit. The proposed budget includes an 8% market rate adjustment for most town positions. It also supports new positions, 2 of which are in our finance operation, as well as 5 new police officer positions. As we continue to work, I want to make some highlights by focus areas to reiterate our strategic plan goals. So priorities in our economic vitality focus area are to improve key development activities. Our proposed budget continues to fund the Destination Dumfries initiative, which facilitates our goal of a Main Street Vision Plan and an affordable housing initiative to improve our local housing stock through best practices as well as zoning administration. And as we continue transforming Dumfries into a destination, we recognize the importance of the interactions with the development community, our stakeholders, and our residents. And to that end, funding has been allocated to support updates to our local zoning ordinance as well as the town's zoning map. Our public safety focus area encompasses law enforcement as well as emergency management. During the past year, the police department has updated key policies, including use of force, de-escalation, and is now trained and equipped with body-worn cameras for every police officer to enhance both safety as well as transparency. So even as we grow, we must continue our commitment to community policing best practices. That's why our proposed budget includes funding for 5 additional officers. These additional officers will allow us to continue to be visible throughout the community, even as new residential and commercial development increases within the town. Our sustainability and infrastructure focus area incorporates transportation, stormwater, and the natural environment. As the mayor mentioned earlier, our top priority in infrastructure continues to be the Route 1 widening project. The proposed budget includes funding to support phase 2 of our Quantico Creek restoration and other improvements that will ensure our compliance with our MS4 permit. Priorities in the well-managed government focus area seek to strengthen our internal controls, ensure our sound fiscal management, and invest in our human capital needs. The proposed budget includes those 2 new positions in finance, which will support the implementation of audit recommendations, enhance our long-range planning, as well as improving customer service. We also will establish an office for civic engagement, which will be charged with increasing and enhancing the interaction between government and our residents. They will be responsible for special events, public information, community programming, as well as customer service. Our proposed capital improvement plan reflects our continued efforts to complete projects currently underway. All capital projects in the current plan are funded entirely by grants and pay-as-you-go cash. For fiscal year 23, the CIP budget is $1.7 million, and it includes 1 new project which will create a stormwater utility map. Once completed, this map will enhance our stormwater assessments as well as our maintenance operations. Additionally, significant time will be devoted to completing the previously approved Route 1 widening project, as well as monitoring our private development of the $400 million Rose Resort project. The review and the adoption of the town budget is a public process. On March 31st, the proposed budget document was posted and distributed on the town's website. All fiscal plan documents can be accessed directly off the town website homepage. In addition to those fiscal plan documents, the website will continuously be updated with presentations from tonight's meeting, the CIP presentation that will be given to the Planning Commission following the April 11th meeting, as well as on April 12th, I invite the community to come out to a Zoom meeting where I will provide a budget overview presentation and give opportunity for question and answer at that virtual meeting. A flyer for that meeting will come out following this meeting. The public hearing for the fiscal year 23 budget, as well as the tax abatement program, is scheduled for the April 26th council meeting. Prior to the public hearing, citizens can provide feedback in the budget on the comment section of the website, as well as email pio@dumfriesva.gov. In closing, I'd like to reiterate that the fiscal year 23 fiscal plan was completed in adherence with sound financial practices, and our plan addresses where we are currently while continuing to provide a roadmap to our future. Thank you.
Mr. Rogers, this is a very thorough plan. I think you've taken the feedback from the goals and the things that the council asked of you. You've taken them to heart. They were very well thought out, being able to take care of the residents at the same time, continuing to make Dumfries a destination place. Go back to that little sticker that you had, that Dumfries destination sticker, because I think that was, you know, I know you come from the Richmond area, and so we can definitely see this on T-shirts, bumper stickers, and magnets that we begin to pass out at all our events and officers, and we begin to definitely brand the area with the destination Dumfries. So I'm definitely excited about that, and also the positions. I'm gonna give council opportunity to comment, and then we'll come back. Council. Any comments? I just come down the line. Councilman Fields, the budget.
I said I was hoping I wouldn't be first. Town manager, wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Wonderful presentation. Yeah, very simple questions. And you're gonna have the same smile on your face when I finish. But to the benefit of our residents, we have these hopefully abatements. We have these fees and taxes, hopefully abating as well. We also have great benefits, primarily as you see on one of your slides, from the Rosies being here, correct?
Correct.
3 questions that will go in line with the benefit of the Rose being here. And these are simple yes or no questions. Has crime increased?
No.
Any reports of human trafficking?
No.
Any major traffic concerns other than what we consider normal?
No.
Thank you.
Chief, did I tell the truth? Yes, sir.
So for all those naysayers about Rosies, you're benefiting from this right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman DeVille.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Wow, Town Manager, Mr. Rogers. I enjoyed your presentation. I enjoy your innovative ways of dispersing the funds, giving it back to the community. So I really, truly appreciate that. I would like for you to, if you could analyze or just share a little bit more about that affordable housing piece.
Sure. So within the Department of Planning and Community Development, we have a line item that supports a affordable housing program. And essentially what we will do is we will engage with a consultant. And as new housing continues to come online, we want to ensure that we have an appropriate percentage of market rate as well as what would be deemed affordable housing. And so we've the council has approved a number of developments even this year that have housing components to them. And so we just want to make sure that we're monitoring that stock. So that project will take an assessment of what we currently have, what's currently approved, and tell us where our percentages lie. And once we have that report, then we will make a recommendation to the council about what we may need to do to ensure that we have a appropriate number of affordable or that our affordable housing stock is appropriate for our size.
Okay, so that's different than the program you and I discussed about the officer next door, Dumfries style.
That is within the police department's budget, and that program is there. That is a singular line item. So yes, so both programs are there.
Okay, what can you share about that program as well?
So for the Officer Next Door program?
Yes, sir.
So that program will provide a stipend to officers that choose to locate or reside within the town. And that will help offset their expenses of residing within the town limits. And the goal is to have their presence in the neighborhood for their neighbors to be able to understand that they're amongst the community even on off time. So that will help them offset those expenses for residing here.
Thank you for moving forward with that. I was also thankful to see when I went through the annual $1,000 to the Dumfries Slave Cemetery,
Yes,
or the
ma'am.
Friends of the Dumfries Slave Cemetery. And it's the funding here. I was looking, I couldn't see. I'm sure it isn't here, but for the seedlings to be planted at Garrison Park.
Yes, ma'am. That's within the Public Works budget.
Okay. And so is there a plan to work on that this fiscal year?
Yes, ma'am. We have funding in the current fiscal year, and we've continued that in fiscal year 23.
Okay, so, and there's funding. Could you explain what the plans are for the farmer's market as stated by the budget?
Yes, so we're getting very close for our farmers market. So I don't want to take the thunder of the staff, but we hope to be able to put out some information to the public about when the farmers market will be open, operational details, and all of that. I would say by the end of the month. By the end of the month.
Okay, don't put anyone on the spot though, you know? Okay, so, yeah, I'm very happy with what I see here. Yeah, that's all the questions I have for now. Thank you for creating innovative ways to spend that funding. So
Thank you.
the citizens will definitely appreciate it.
Councilman Pete.
Great presentation. You always put together great presentations that keep us somehow, some way you always seem to get it done and normally outstanding, like
Thank you.
Oscar outstanding, you know? One of the things I want to definitely highlight is the increase in diversity in our police force. Chief Galen, you and your staff have been doing an amazing job out here in the community. I'm out here with you guys. I've seen all of you guys out here. Even the new ladies that you guys have on board also have been doing an amazing job out here. I like the body cams that they're using. And one of the things that I've always talked to you guys about and chief and town manager about is presence in the park, you know, and I'm going to pretty much stay at presence in the park until I see some presence in the park, you know, because I'm there a lot and I try to help diverse a lot of things that shouldn't be. And I say that to say this, that we're entering the summer months. I don't know if you guys have heard of those, what is it? Bonsai guns or the little toy guns with the pellet things that they're using now. So that's becoming a norm in the neighborhood. That recreational, that I'm there because, you know, like I said, I believe the children are our future. And if we can give them a path and opportunity, then we can, you know, steer and divert some of this things that are going on into the community. As I see, I'm walking around. You guys see me like a lot out there. I'm walking around heavy out there, and mainly what I'm doing is stopping our children. Like the fact that you guys are about to start utilizing the bike. I don't know if they started already. The bike. The officers on the bikes.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's coming. I have seen the street sweepers out there. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Because you know of the beautification of the town. Oh yeah, because you know this town has to look awesome. That's just one of the good things. Also, I've reached out to the Principal of Transportation about the light at Tripoli Boulevard. Again, I don't know if any guys have, maybe you guys have, the officers have, and coming out of Tripoli to make that left, it takes forever to get out of there. So they're doing some studies and surveys on that. But I want to thank you for looking into that.
Yes, sir.
So that also, and then with the abatements, I'm always on seeing if the homeowners can get them eliminated forever, but we have to take the blows as they are. But one day we could look into that maybe down the road. Also, with the lot, I like being first in a lot of things. I ran track and did a lot of sports, and I coach sports, So in seeing that we're second to almost first in lowering the taxes with the competitive counties, I'd like to see maybe one day we can be first in that area. But outside of that, town manager, you, your staff, chief, and everyone else that has put this presentation together to move us forward, it has been an awesome job. And those are my remarks from me to you and the rest of your team. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilman Brown.
Just had a couple of comments, Mr. Rogers. Your phone calls to me are kind of harsh on my end. I always drill you about legal, ethical, and then how much risk involved in some of the things that you're presenting. And you get that every time you call me. I would just like to say this was thorough, and it was expected, again, from the conversations we've been having over the past months. I'm really keen on taking care of the people that take care of you, and that comes down to our citizens. You are here because of our citizens, and you make the recommendations about this abatement, which I was very pleased with. That is something going back to our citizens. And you'll look at the $248 maybe per household, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but you do the math, multiply that by how many citizens will be relieved, and then take in consideration how much of that we already accounted for in our budget. That's significant. So it's not a light thing that you present here to our citizens saying, hey, we're trying to take care of you as we grow this town. And I think it's a great job that you're doing. Your staff is doing a great job, and I don't expect anything less.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Councilwoman Miles.
Thank you, Mayor. Great job. This is excellent work. I want to echo the sentiments of all my colleagues. I wouldn't expect anything less. Very happy to see the increase in the police department. They have been doing an outstanding job, but as the summer months increase, we do know that we want to pay attention to things in crime, and we want to make sure they have all the resources that they need. Very happy about that. And additionally, the abatement, I like that we are one of the localities that is acknowledging that as we move past COVID, there were still some remnants of COVID, some financial hardships that exist, and we're doing what we can to alleviate that. So overall, just good job. Very happy.
Thank you.
Exciting times to serve and to work in Dumfries. The budget continues to show the commitment to take care of people. I think the forward planning of budgeting for 5 additional officers as we prepare for the future, and to get relief and allow people to be able to go on vacation with the size of the staff we have now. So we understand the importance of funding and expanding. As the budget grows, so does our staffing have to grow, and so that's like when everybody lifts, the load gets lighter. As the budget grows, 2 additional financial positions I think is going to be necessary to be able to collect, and also those enforcement positions. And did we fill all the current positions in the current budget? I don't know if we still have some out.
Any vacancies that we have in the current fiscal year are fully funded for 23, but we do have a few vacancies.
Okay, you do have, okay, a couple of vacancies. All right. And so I'm excited to see that all our capital improvement plan is continuing to be fully funded. Our fund balance being at 60%, I think is huge. You know, it definitely sets us up in a position where you know, the sky is the limit for the type of things we can do. This building, I think, are we at 100% or we still one vacancy?
I have a lease coming to you shortly. I have a letter of intent to fully lease this building. So coming soon.
Okay, so we're just about at 100% occupancy in this building. So we've made some, I think, smart investments as a council to allow the town to throw, I think 55%. I was doing some research. I think over a 3-year period, I think we're leading the entire, those 13 people in the Northern Virginia Regional Commission, I think we're leading. I think Loudon was about 30-something%. What were they, you know?
Yeah, they were up there, I think about 33, 35%.
So I'm making yeah, I just, you know, I just want to make note. I mean, the type of growth that we're seeing is unparalleled and is unheard of. So just the times that we in, and to just be able to take advantage and to continue to keep our foundation strong. And I think that's an attribute to looking at some of the things we've done. You refinancing that bond, I think, was major because that's a cost savings of how much annually?
It's about $25,000 a year, but over the life of the bond, it was over $650,000.
It's $650,000 savings and some of the other things. So I think that is well thought out, some of the investments that we made, and to be able to move forward and focus on Route 1. And I know you keep saying that the roads is 400, but construction costs are way up. I think they're closer to $500 million. So I think your $750 million in new investment is closer to $1 billion, but that's just.
The other 100,000 didn't come to us.
Okay. And the numbers, I know, but I'm just saying, I think, you know, with almost $1 billion in new growth, without expanding our boundary lines, without doing any of that stuff, I think is, you know, people, I always got to remind people, we're only 1.5 square miles. 1.6, I'm sorry, I took a little bit away. And what did we just add? Another 98 townhouses to our tax record?
Yes.
That was a 98? They told me it's going to be 101 total right now that's being built. And so to see the us growing population, I think by what, another 30%? What's our population?
Since 2018, the census has reported an 8% increase, but we believe that we may have even more than what was counted in the previous census.
Yeah, I think we're probably closer to about 8,000. This is what I'm looking. I was looking at the number. So, yeah, this is unparalleled times, and I'm excited from the mix and the diversity and to bring in. So, thank you for that thorough presentation. And council, if there's no more. Oh, and just to speak to the tax abatement, and you know, to be able to provide an opportunity for somebody to get a $0. And this example up here is just for $100,000 house, 200. So if somebody has 300,000 or 400,000, because all of these tax assessments came out, that can be upwards to somebody getting $800 back in their pocket right away. You know, that could be a medical bill, that could be a car note for some people, that could be them taking care of some people. So that's you know, I think that's a major step to showing, hey, we're bringing in investment so we can turn back around and invest back in this community, you know, and to be able to continue to focus on that. The one thing I was looking for in our capital improvement plan, and I don't know when we'll bring this up, but the Main Street Road, we talked about the Route 1 widening. So the one thing I guess I didn't see, will we have a plan coming up for what Main Street will look like as Route 1 getting? So that'd be probably my only question here.
Yes, and what we wanted to make sure that we did is that we continue to have a capital improvement program that I call real, meaning that all of the funding that is associated with the projects is also included in the plan. So as we finalize the technical design for the Route 1 widening project, that project to either perhaps cul-de-sac Main Street and really make that more walkable and easy to for vehicular traffic, that project will definitely be included in the upcoming capital improvement plan. And we have a number of options for financing that as well. So that is coming soon, but we wanted to make sure we get the Route 1 design technically finalized before we move forward with that.
Well, and then the other road project I think that we had fully funded was Curtis Drive and Grand Park Road there. That's funded, right?
Those are old projects.
Okay.
So everything is with the Route 1 project being fully funded, everything is new that will balance off of that. Just for the community's benefit, the latest meeting shows a updated value engineered design, which is enhanced, improved, but still different from the previous design that the public saw. So we wanted to make sure that everything will need to be updated from this updated design for Route 1.
All right. Sounds like a great game plan. All right. Thank you for that thorough presentation. We will move into our agenda items at this point. First on our agenda, where did I just put that at? Where it closed. All right, I just want to check. Council, y'all all right, or do y'all need a quick stretch break? Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure we're at the top of the hour. All right, so our first introductory item, and do we want to read all these together, Town Manager? Okay. Okay, very well.
Thank you, Mayor. The following items are being introduced for a public hearing on April the 26th, 2022. Consideration of an ordinance to amend Town Code, Chapter 58, concerning real estate taxes. Resolution to approve real estate tax abatement for first half of 2022. Ordinance to appropriate funds for fiscal year 2023 in the amount of $7,200,698. Ordinance to adopt the Town of Dumfries fee schedule, and resolution to approve the fiscal year 2023 through 2027 capital improvement plan. Mayor, will you please call for the motion?
Well, all right. I love it. I welcome a motion from the floor on those public hearing dates. What else?
Move.
Okay, moved by Councilman Pete.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman DeVille. All right, I will now open the floor for discussion. Councilwoman Miles, did you have no discussion? Okay, I thought you had. All right. Seeing no discussion, we'll now happily call for the Councilman Fields. Yes. Councilwoman DeVille.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miles.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Pete.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
All right, your motion carries. And I think that concludes our agenda for tonight. This meeting is now adjourned.